Hey, what's up, YouTube? Boswell back with another video for the Husband Code. I have 5 tips on what helped me become a better man. So, right into it. The first one, and I got my notes today because I wanted to be thorough. To challenge myself and what I think to be true. Now, what I mean by challenge myself, this has been my whole process as of late. I'm just going through my journey of just becoming the best version of myself, right? So, to challenge myself is just doing the hard things, right? Pushing myself day by day to make the right decisions, to win against my own mind, and to do things that's in my best interest. And so those are the things that challenge me. And there's new things that I've done too, like learning new skills. And I'll challenge you guys out there. If there are different things that you want to accomplish in life, as you becoming, uh, a better man, challenge yourself day by day. You know the things you want to accomplish. You know the things you want to do. So what steps are you doing to challenge yourself to get there? And the second kind of part of that tip is, to do what I think to be true, right? Or challenge myself and what I think to be true. Challenge myself and what I think to be true. So like a lot of times I used to generalize, right? And so now I'm at a place where before I say, well, I think this is true based on my experience, and it does play a piece. I make sure I got my ducks in a row. I make sure I got my facts straight. I make sure I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's. Because a lot of times we may think we heard something to be true, but it actually may not be true. So just making sure that, I'm just on point to have the right information that way as I'm giving it to people, that I'm on point with what I stand on, and I know I'm confident in what I'm, you know, putting out there to be true versus just kind of speculating or things like that. And again, we do have our own experience and we do have some truth to what we say. A lot of times it's just kind of speculation and generalization of what we think things to be true. So that's the first thing, is to challenge myself and what I think to be true. The second thing is to lead myself before I can lead others. This is the building blocks I'm on right now. This is the path I'm on right now. And I've always been a natural leader in a lot of things, like even playing sports when I was younger. Being one of the people in my household growing up, having to take on a leadership role because, people was working, the adults was working. So I'm at home with the young ones and stuff like that. When it came to my friends, people always looked at me like, hey man, what's the move? How things going? I was looking to me to have the answers. And even in life right now, I've always had people kind of gravitate to me. I've been in different leadership roles, throughout my work career. And so I've always just been in that leadership role. However, to become the best leader, I had to lead myself. And that's me working on the opportunities that I know I need internally to become the best version of myself. And that's the stuff y'all see through all my videos, me putting in the work by going to the gym, eating right, learning new skills, just working on self improvement when it comes to going to therapy, just working on myself when it comes to like challenging my mind. Those are the things with, putting in work to start to lead myself, that where other people can naturally gravitate versus me kind of having to sell myself on why I should be a leader and, lead them. But it comes to me first. And I found out as I'm doing that, I'm starting to attract more life to me. People are starting to gravitate to me more easy without me having to kind of, like I said, um, kind of push them into the right or sell myself that I'm the leader. So that was one thing I did in my earlier life, and it helped. Don't get me wrong; it was a skill that I learned. But I want to be as what I'm seeing now is as I'm becoming to the best version of myself and lead myself, people just naturally gravitate towards me and kind of willingly allow me to lead without me having to put so much work in because they can kind of trust my actions versus just my words. So that's the second thing, leading myself before I can lead others. The third thing, and this is crazy, I actually heard this from another guy and I'm starting to really understand it as I progress in my marriage, is listen to my wife, right? Because she actually knows me best. And let me press for this to all the men out there. It's not what that she knows what's best for me, but she knows me best. Meaning, I've been with my wife for over 10 years. We've been married for about 5 plus. And the thing about women is they're very keen on, learning men, right? Learning how cause we kind of creatures of habits. We kind of get into a routine. We kind of consistent on how we move day to day. And just again, they've been groomed from early childhood to understand emotional intelligence and emotional vocabulary, know their feelings and how they feel early. And we just a lot of us never learn or get later to a stage in our life where we just learning it, but even picking up on us as how we move emotionally. And that's a big thing for a woman, because it's kind of like, if I'm in a funk and they kind of know how I feel, they kind of know when to step back, when to press, stuff like that, and when to, like, really, tell you what you need to hear at different times. So, that's a good thing. I started, really listening to my wife on a lot of things. And again, that's not to say that I don't make my own decisions, but it's good that we're on the same page as us in our marriage, and that I can have a listening ear to good advice because it's in the best interest of us and how we build into things like that. And again, that's not to say, again, just make sure purposes for all the men out there. That's not to say they know what's best for you, but they do know you best. If y'all had that type of relationship where things kind of flourish and y'all kind of, are on the same wavelength, on the same chain link, that y'all growing and building together. You'll be surprised at how a woman can really. And this is what I love about marriage. This is one point I do love is once y'all really linked and y'all connected, it just really y'all really start to think alike. Y'all really start to have the same thoughts. Like, dang, I was just thinking that. And that's when y'all start to really like lock in, and y'all start to see things the same way, and that's when you lock in steps. So that's when you start to be like, all right, cool, we on the same journey, we on the same path of life, and that's when the marriage starts to unfold into something very beautiful. So it take time, it take a lot of work to get there, but when you do get there, man, don't have the ego like you can't listen to your wife, because they do know you best. So that's a tip for y'all. That's probably a major tip, is once y'all get to that point, start listening to your wife, man. So the next one, communication is key. Um, and with any relationship, even outside of marriage, when it comes to professional, when it comes to like, relationship with your family, friends, with your wife and stuff like that, you have to learn how to communicate. Like, if not, I said this in a couple of my videos that I've shot, but if you don't have communication, you stuck in a rut. Y'all are not going anywhere, because it's like y'all get to a problem, y'all can't, build off that problem, fix it, and move forward. You're gonna keep spinning your wheels in the mud, and y'all gonna be stuck. And here we come when it's gonna be, two people pointing the finger at each other. It's gonna be, a situation where you guys start to hate each other, start to, despise each other, and that's when it starts to crack. That's when the foundation starts to crack. That's when people start to pull away. And just because a lot of times, again, I always push on the man, make sure you're taking your ego out of it. And I'm not saying you're not supposed to be a man about it, but that's the only way to allow that conversation to flourish, is we got to say, how's the other person, can I put myself in their shoes as well, and make sure they reciprocating that. But it starts from us just taking the lead to hear people out. And but communication has always been key when it comes to, a tip for becoming a better man. You have to be an efficient communicator and listener, but communication too, but also listener. Last one, um, I had to become the best version of myself. And again, I keep harping back on this. I keep pushing on this, but that's the only way you're going to elevate yourself as a husband and as a man, is figure out where all your opportunities are, right? If it's an emotional thing, like emotional intelligence, is it a physical thing where you're not in shape, you don't feel strong as a man no more, right? Is it a spiritual thing, or you're not connected to the source and you're not connected to God? Maybe you do need to go to church. Maybe you need to go on some hikes and maybe some meditation just to reconnect, what I mean? Whatever it is, maybe you need to listen to some podcasts. Maybe you need to read a couple books, something that can start to connect you back, man, to God, connect you back to the source, until so you can become the best version, the higher point of yourself. That's like first and foremost, and that's the only way you're going to become the best version of yourself, is mind, body, and spirit. So those three things is the Trinity. They work together. It's just like a triangle. You know what I mean? All of it's linked, and so that's what I would say. My 5 tips are, and just to like recap, like I said, the first one was just to challenge myself and what I think to be true in life on different information. The second one is to lead myself before I can lead others. The third one, I started to listen to my wife, and you should too. Again, because they know you best, but that don't mean they know what's best for you. You got to lead yourself. The next one, the fourth one, communication is key. You're not going nowhere without communication. That's the building blocks of a healthy and growing marriage. And the last one is becoming the best version of self. Again, mind, body, and spirit. You need all three. You have to work on all three if you want to become the best version of yourself. So I want to check in with you guys. These are 5 things that help me become a better man / better husband. And hey, drop a comment below. Tell me if you're working on some of these things. Maybe I can add another tip. Tell me, maybe your 5, or even give me one that you may not have on my list. Hit a like on the video. If it's your first time checking into the Husband Code, welcome. If you've been watching my videos for a while, go ahead and subscribe. And hit a like on the video, hit the notification bell. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Thank you again. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.